Public Enemy. Takes a nation of millions to hold us back. Rebel Without a Pause. The B-side, If You're Gonna Get Yours. That's where I first saw it. This 12-inch with the 98 posse. With the Oldsmobiles, and look at all these guys. If you actually look at this cover, the man are brandishing guns, mate. That brother there, his gun's out. There's Professor Griff there. This man's gun's out blatantly. And that looks like Flavor Flav with his hand in his pocket. And this brother looks like he's got a gun in his hand as well. But don't watch that. This record, Rebel Without a Pause, that deserves a 2-hour film by itself. The B-side wins again. You're Gonna Get Yours was the A-side. But there was a record on the B-side. And this record just took over the world. I remember hearing that record in '87. And at Notting Hill Carnival that summer, that was the anthem. You couldn't go anywhere without hearing that record blasting. Whether it was a reggae sound system, a soul sound system, a hip-hop sound system. You were hearing that record everywhere. Look at Terminator X in the back. Chuck D right there. That record changed the world. I remember hearing Rebel Without a Pause, and I'd never heard anything like that in my life. I didn't even know that hip-hop could do that. The record, first it had Funky Drummer in the background, which was just looked at as like the greatest breakbeat, really. I mean, you got Apache, you got Impeach the President, you got so many great breaks, but Funky Drummer for me, Clyde Stubblefield on the drums, James Brown, it's just a sick, sick break to start with. So you got Funky Drummer, then you've got mad Roland 808 drums kicking in the background. Then you've got this sample, a high-pitched squealing, actually turns out to be another James Brown classic, The Grunt, which I believe with Fred Wesley on the horns, I believe that's Fred Wesley's horn that's been sampled. Just this loop, this sound that just cuts through. And then you've got Chuck D. The rhymes with authority. And you've got Terminator X's rhythm scratch. Terminator X, rock and roll, rock and roll. He's cutting up Chub Rock. Rock and roll, dude. I knew that record. I loved that Chub Rock record. But you've got Terminator X doing some mad Transformer scratching in the chorus. And the record was just epic. Anywhere you went in '87, that record was an anthem. It took the UK by storm and then the world by storm. And everybody was trying to find out what the sample was and use it in their own records. And PE, I mean, they just took over the UK as a hip-hop act. Prior to PE, I mean, everyone was into LL Cool J and Run DMC. When that record dropped, it was over, man. Public Enemy became, for most of us, the #1 group in the world. And Rebel Without a Pause in 1987 really solidified that. Prior to that, they had done Yo Bum Rush the Show, which was just an incredible album. We loved that album. Public Enemy #1 was the single that everyone was killing. But that record, Rebel Without a Pause, the B-side, that changed the world, man. That high-pitched, squealing, sonic, Def Jam, 808 bass, Funky Drummer sampling, Chuck D rhyming, was just crazy with flavor in the background, just hyping Chuck up, and Terminator X on the decks and the Bomb Squad production. I mean, that record, Rebel Without a Pause, it deserves a documentary on its own. Public Enemy. It takes a nation of millions to hold us back. Single #2 of that epic album. Probably the greatest album of all time in hip-hop, and Rebel Without a Pause could be argued as the greatest ever hip-hop single. It's Kamanchi Sly, hiphop73.com. talking about the legendary Public Enemy album, It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back. Probably the greatest hip-hop album of all time. Peace.